best benefit of knowing that you have an actor like Colin who you get to write for is that he'll make everything you write better.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Blumberg, writing for movies in Sweden.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. I've seen every episode of this show and I'm really loving it. So
Oh,
thank you
thanks.
for making a great 8 hours of TV for us to watch.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. So I know that you kind of got to watch Colin as the Penguin even before everyone else got to see me in the Batman. So I was wondering a bit how it was to kind of write this story, knowing who would play the main character and kind of maybe getting some influences from him as well, and let that influence how you would write the story. Is that how it went down, or how was it for you?
Yeah, well, it was a very unique experience because I was picturing Oz, this fictional character, more than I was picturing Colin Farrell playing a
Yeah,
character. That felt very unique, and I don't know if I'll ever experience something like that again. The best benefit of knowing that you have an actor like Colin who you get to write for is that he'll make everything you write better. And I also know what a talented actor he is as just like a fan of his work prior. So he can do comedy and drama, and he toes this line and has everything feel very organic and real. So I was just honored to be able to write for someone like him and excited to try to, engage more deeply in a character like Oz and make sure that he was as complicated and flawed as possible and try to have the audience understand this man, not necessarily like him, but want to watch him and see what he does next.
yeah. And I really feel like that's exactly how I'm watching the show. And th this is a really dark tale that you take us on. And could you talk a bit about how you wanted to kind of structure the story? Because this is in a world where there are superheroes, but I kind of feel like it's more down to earth on what we get to see. It almost feels like this could be in any city in our world, even.
Yeah, that's the goal is to have you feel like even though it takes place in a fictional city like Gotham, that you could attribute any city that you are more familiar with and feel like it could take place there. Um, you know, even Batman's not technically a superhero. He's just a man in who decides to
In
put
a
on a
suit.
cape,
Yeah.
yeah, in a suit. And so that already differentiates him, and that's what makes, I think, Batman as a character and then Gotham City at large just so uniquely different. And it's so grounded. Matt Reeves' version of Gotham is so gritty and normal, really, compared to so many other iterations. And so just taking that inkling and making sure that Oz feels just like a real man. We know he's technically in a prosthetic, but the goal is to have you so immersed in the experience that you forget you're watching that you view him as his own person, as I do now. Um, and so to make sure that while we're honoring the comics, it feels like an engaging and interesting enough story that it starts in a place where you're charmed by this person. And as you dig deeper into him psychologically, you start to unpack darker truths and darker attributes of him, and then really leaving it up to the audience to decide what they feel about someone like him.
Yeah. And we already know that there is going to be a movie with the character in it. So everyone watching will know that. Is that something that you kind of also have to acknowledge when you write? Because we know that, well, he is someone that can't be taken out since we know that he will survive and be in something else different in the future. But does that make it harder to write a story in that way, or does that even help to have that outside of the project?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. I think in some ways it makes it more challenging, but I think it just puts more pressure on the storytelling itself and to make sure that you're doing the best you can creatively to engage people and make them want to watch, that you're writing things that feel very surprising regardless of what people might think they know at the end. I feel strongly that I don't think people will know where it goes in the end.
Yeah, I
And that
can
the
testify to
oh,
that.
good. That the experience of it makes it worth watching, and that whether you think you know what's going to happen to him at the end or not, the goal is always to have you engaged every episode, have every episode feel like its own story, and have it all connect in the end for across the 8 episodes.
Yeah, and I also feel like there is kind of an art form to have a character that is that good at talking himself out of stuff that I really kind of wanted to say, well, how is he going to get out of this jam? And you always delivered on that, so I was really happy watching the
No,
show.
thank
So
you. Thank you. Yeah, because that's it is challenging to write a character who is impulsive but also calculated and smart, and you put them in situations that then they have to smartly get out of in an inventive way. It's definitely a challenge. So I'm happy to hear that you feel that way.
yeah, thanks a lot for taking your time to speak with me, and best of luck with the premiere now.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.